from 2015. Australian Football League, AFL, Aussie Rules, had her grand final today. Hawthorn squared off against West Coast Eagles. The contest was very one-sided. Had the Sydney Swans played better in post-season, not a lot better, but with more focus and discipline, fewer imaginary spears thrown at the audience, they would have been humbled by Hawthorn. Last year, Swans only achieved Hawthorn's halftime score by full-time. West Coast bettered that this year, but not by enough to threaten the victors, 107-61. A terrible killing in Parramatta outside the police headquarters there mirrors multiple slayings in the US earlier in the day. In the US, a young man from the UK who identified as Muslim, who had failed basic training for the US Army in '08, killed people at a community college, asking them if they were Christian and shooting them in the head if they said yes. In Australia, a 15-year-old boy who had migrated as a refugee found a person leaving police headquarters from home following the end of work. The boy had visited mosque on the way to walking up behind the civilian and shooting him in the head. Then the boy called out to Allah several times, faced the open door of the police headquarters, and shot at people emerging from it. Police special officers, at risk to themselves, shot the 15-year-old dead. The victim of the execution, whom had been leaving work, was a 17-year civilian accountant, married, father of 2. Clearly the intention of jihadis is to cause fear. They do so with precision, claiming as reason excuses which inflame situations. But the excuses are not real. Not like the lives of the victims, but one would not know that were they to hear Obama or Turnbull speak on the issue. According to Obama, prayer has failed and now alternatives must be sought. According to Turnbull, the Islamic community needs to be consulted. Except the Islamic community claims to not be the problem and prayer is not the issue. There is a disconnect with bad leaders pointing to simple answers that don't address the issues. The truth is the civilian tax accountant working for the police was killed randomly so as to threaten every sensible person. His death brings Islam into disrepute and is a powerful curse on all who approve it. But Obama and Turnbull are moving to exploit the tragedy, but giving credit to terrorists in doing so, by claiming their cause had more merit than the lives they took. They should never try prayer. For some, at the moment, the sex party has more credibility.